Okay, so we are going to complete another task list item, and this will be using whole interval time sampling when trying to measure a behavior that doesn't necessarily always have like a clear start and stop. Like you can't use frequency for it, whatever. But this will be like, we're going to be measuring the staying in seat behavior of our participant using whole interval. Whole interval usually tends to kind of underestimate the amount of time a behavior actually occurs, because you're just taking whether the behavior happened the entire increment that you're measuring. So for instance, we're going to do 2 minutes of measuring whole interval time sampling for sitting in a seat for this participant. So we're going to do 2 10-minute segments. You can see this, and you can just kind of make your own boxes. So 0 will record whether or not this person left their seats during the 10-second increment, and an X will indicate that she stayed in her seat for the entire 10-second increment. So our operational definition will be both buttocks making contact with the seat. And so if she is not doing this, if she's just trying not to laugh, if she is not like fully seated, if she's standing, that doesn't count. So we're gonna like be very strict about this operational definition. Just to be completely seated for the entire 10 seconds, or we will mark that as a 0. So all we'll do to measure this is just use my phone, bring up our stopwatch, and then as soon as I start and give her kind of her task demand, which will be working on homework, I will start measuring and start recording a X for every 10 seconds that she remains seated and meets the operational definition, and an O if this was not met. So here we go. I'll try to kind of get this down here where you can see. All right, Aubrey, work on your homework. Okay, so that was the first 10 seconds that passed. Marked an X because she met the operational definition for the entire segment of time. Again, we're going to mark again. Now we're going on about 30 seconds. She's still remaining seated. Oh, she just barely met that. So we'll go ahead and give her an X for sitting in her seat the entire time. And then we'll give her an O for this other time segment. And she'll get a 0 for that one as well. So she sits back in her seat for like the last remaining 3 seconds of that interval, but we're going to still score as a 0 because she's only remaining seated for part of that time period. All right. So again, for this, she was in her seat for 6 of the 12 intervals that we measured. So again, we did 2 minutes. We broke it down into 10-second intervals. So as you can see, she was out of her seat quite a bit, but if you actually measured the number of seconds that she's in her chair, you will see that she's in her chair a lot more often than what this indicates by using whole interval time sampling. But kind of the purpose of this is to increase the periods of time that she does remain seated, so that's why this is used.